Okay, they're bringing in Dan Quinn, and I mentioned this earlier in the earlier block script. If you look at when Dan Quinn had successful, Gus Bradley's defense, that single high safety, Robert Lurk, whatever you want to call it, he had great, outstanding corners.
He did.
Had very good safeties also. Cam, Earl Thomas at the safeties, and Richard Sherman, and I forget the other guy name, Brandon Browner. Had Brandon Browner. Guys, long physical corners that could contest the football. Trayvon Diggs has great ball skill, Skip. I think he can be special. And if you look at what they covered, think about what they had to cover at Alabama. Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, now they got Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. That's what they were going up against every day in practice, Skip. When we believe that these two guys that's coming out this year will also be first-round picks like the other two came out. So you know they're going to be battle-tested. And that's what you do. You go to Alabama, Skip, you compete. Because a lot of those skilled guys are going to be playing on the next level. So you get an opportunity to compete on a daily basis. I like Surtain at the pick. I like a defensive player. I believe I like him a little better. Now, because I believe they're going to be a run of quarterbacks early, Skip. I mean, all the quarterbacks could be off the board, maybe with the exception of Mac Jones. But I believe the top quarterbacks, the Trevor Lawrences, the Trey Lances, the Zach Wilsons, could all be off the board by the time. Not the Cowboys are going to go in that direction anyway, because clearly they re-signed Dak. Dak's going to be the long-term future. I would go quarterback. I would go cornerback. Cornerback first. I don't know if there's a safety. I haven't really looked at any marks lately, Skip. I don't know if a safety is rated that high.
No.
They are losing Jordan Lewis and Awuzie, Skip. If I'm not mistaken, are free agents.
Yes.
There's a possibility they can lose one or both of those guys.
Both.
So corner would be the ideal. But I could also see them, Skip. You said that you believe Tyron Smith is going to have a bounce-back season. Skip, I can see them taking a tackle, Skip, because he's 30, but that's an old 30. And over the last 3 years, Skip, he missed all the games last year. He missed like 5 or 6 the year before, 3 or 4 the year before that. And what we've seen, especially with those positions, that's high contact, guys don't get healthy as they progress. So for me, I would take Surtain, considering they only had 10 interceptions last year, with the 5th fewest in all the league. Skip, they got to get better on defense. They were 28th, second worst against the run. They gave up, what, 3-4 games, Skip, in which they gave up more than 250 and gave up a couple of games of 300. So they definitely need to start with the defense and go from there. I would take Surtain. If he's there, I'm taking Pat Surtain the second.
Okay, got it. Did you know his father?
I did. I played against his father.
That's what I thought. Okay, so that's what he's got going for him. His father could really play.
When he was with the Dolphins, Pat Surtain and Sam Madison, and actually had T-Buck. They had 3 corners.
They had 3 corners. Okay, my turn. First of all, I feared until last night when the story broke that Dallas was going to have to try to figure out how to go up and get one of those quarterbacks. Because if Dak was going to play his way out of town and you were going to get nothing in return, you better have a kid quarterback waiting in the wings ready to go, and they don't have anybody else on their roster that I would trust to go forward with, right? So I was thinking, is Jerry going to have to try to move up a slot or two to get Mac Jones, to take Trey Lance? I don't know, but I was juggling that in my head, not loving the prospect of it, because they don't have a lot of other draft capital, and it was going to really handicap trying to fix the defense. Okay, so now they sit at 10, and quarterback is obviously no longer a need. Okay, I'm going to throw this out. This is the CeeDee Lamb Memorial strategy here. If one player happens to fall to 10 who plays offense, I'm going to be all in to take that player the way I was about CeeDee last year when everybody said defense, 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 and I said no. He's too good. At that slot where he fell to, he fell out of heaven into your lap, and I'm still loving the fact they took CeeDee Lamb.
So, hold on. If a Devontae Smith is on the board at 10.
I'm going to go one better. I got one better. Kyle Pitts from Florida is an absolute monster. Kyle Pitts won the Mackey Award, the tight end award, and he was a finalist for the first ever, quote-unquote, tight end to be a finalist for the Biletnikoff Receiver Award. And he probably could have or should have, except for Devontae, won that one.
And he probably, I think he got some Heisman votes.
Kyle Pitts is 6'6", 250, excuse me, 6'6", 250.
A good kid.
He's a good kid. He didn't finish there. He had a concussion, which scares me a little bit at the end of the year, and then opted not to play in Florida's bowl game. But he has a little bit, to me, when I've watched him, he has leaped off my screen because he's got a little Calvin Johnson going on because he's just that big and that fast and that strong, where you just can't physically match up with him.
And the last time you saw him, Skip, you saw him in the SEC title game against Alabama, and you saw what he did.
Well, they just couldn't cover him.
No, nobody could cover him.
Nobody can cover him. So, look, it's I think Kuiper's got it. No, it's McShay's got him 4th to the Jets, and Kuiper's got him 6th to the Eagles. And it would scare me if the Eagles got Kyle Pitts. He's also the kind of player you could talk yourself out of depending on how much you fall in love with Devontae Smith.
Right.
Or Jamar Chase, who's a stud receiver, or Jalen Waddle, who can just flat out fly. Okay, I know he's coming off an injury, but he can fly.
Right, and I think, Skip, probably by the time training camp rolls around, he will be 100%. Considering that, Skip, he was out there, 4 months after he had the ankle worked on. Okay. So that'll be another 7, 8 months removed from that. He should be a full go.
Okay, so I don't disagree with your conventional wisdom about, well, God, that corner's just sitting there staring you in the face. You got to take him.
Yeah.
If Kyle Pitts somehow falls the way CD did to 10, I am taking him and not looking back. That would require me possibly to maybe try to shop Michael Gallup to see if you can get something quickly for him. You might have to give him away if they know you're trying to give him away, right? Or you need to give him away.
Yeah, you could do that, Skip, or you could. I don't see Kyle Pitts lasting the 10. Either somebody in the top that's going to take him, or I can see somebody moving up. He's that kind of talent.
He probably is, because to my eye, he might be better than several of these quarterbacks who are going to go up above 10, because I think all 5 of the quarterbacks will go above Dallas.
Yeah, Skip, and remember that big run of tight ends they had? They had O.J. Howard, they had Evan Ingram.
Yep.
He's better than all of them.
He's better than all of them. He might prove to be better than everybody at the quarterback position except for Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
He might be more valuable, have more impact when you say, well, that guy's better than these quarterbacks who became just another guy.
And he can fill out, Skip. He's 6'6", 240-ish, 235-ish.
He probably needs to get... I think he was 248 when they measured. I think he's 250-ish.
Yeah, he needs to be 250, 250. He needs to be like a Kelsey. With that kind of height.
Yep.
Because Skip, he's fluid. He can drop his hips. And that's the thing that I look for. People are like, what do you look for when I look at a tight end? Can he drop his hips? I need to be able to see him sink his hip and get in and out of breaks. Because the guy that can transition, those are the guys that can win on a consistent basis.
Okay, so look, Blake Jarwin, I know Dak loves him. He loves Dak.
He ain't that kid, Skip.
He's just not this guy. Remember, he got hurt against the Rams out here in the grand opening of the new stadium, and he was gone for the whole year from game 1 on. So, again, if you have a shot at Kyle Pitts, then you strengthen your strength. You just say, well, he's just too good. We got to take him. Okay. Again, their offensive lineman, that Penei Sewell from Oregon, and I don't know much about him except because I don't watch offensive linemen, but they say he's a perennial Pro Bowl.
Hold on. I saw somebody in a mock draft, maybe it was Mel Kiper, said he's really the only guy that's probably a lock to be a Hall of Famer in this draft.
All right. Well, he may be. And so, again, if he fell, you'd have to think hard about that. And that Rashawn Slater, who opted out last year at Northwestern, again, I can't grade offensive linemen, but they say he's up in the mix up here. So you would have to think about those to your point. But obviously, Patrick Surtain, his father, wasn't just a player. He was a really good player and a really smart player who is now coaching. And he coached his son to play that position the way you have to play that position.
If you watch his son play, Skip.
Yes.
You watch how fluid he is. You watch how he can turn, he can backpedal, he can transition, open his hips, he can drive on the ball. He's very good. And in order for him to do this at such a young age, he had to have extreme coaching at an even younger age. For him to play the way he plays, he's almost like NFL sound. Now, there's some little technique things that he's going to have to pick up along the way. But if you just watch him, and like I said, I haven't broken looking at him on tape, but I just watch him on television, and I just watch how fluid and how he moves. Now, he needs to get a little better job at tracking the ball. Now, I believe Diggs is better at tracking the ball. But as far as technique, being able to put his hands, knowing when to open up, knowing when to drive, he's better than Diggs in that aspect.
6'2", 202. So he's long and he is strong.
He's prototypical, Skip.
And listen, from what I watched against with Bama, and I watched a bunch of Bama games, he will play the run. He will stick his nose in. So you don't have to worry about that side. And I found him to be an explosive leader at the point of contact where if he's got a shot, he will go up and get it on you. So he's got a little bit of Jalen Ramsey going on where he could achieve that sort of plateau.
You like those big corners. You know,
Yep.
go back to big corners. I'm thinking Mel Blunt. Mel's like 6'3", 6'4". I'm looking at Mike Haynes,
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey. Time wasn't 6'2". He's like 6.5", 6'1". But you want those corner skip that's physical to challenge these big
Listen,
receivers.
Deion Sanders was way stronger than people gave him credit. He was just naturally gifted.